Watch High and Outside with Malik Wright and Dante Miles every Sunday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Facebook Live.
What's good, Dante? Man, it's been a minute. Welcome to the High and Outside podcast, season review, World Series preview. Malik Wright, Dante Miles, Ray in the back. How you doing, bro?
I'm solid, bro. Like you said, it's been a long time. Season wrapped up. Unfortunately, both of the teams we were covering did not make the World Series. But, I mean, it's been a good time. So, I really enjoyed myself this year. We put out a lot of great content, we're really consistent with the content. So, I did enjoy that. So, I'm solid, bro. How you been?
Oh, yeah, I've been good. And, shout out everybody on the site, 7 days a week, 4 pieces of content, MLBbro.com, covering black and brown players throughout Major League Baseball. Yeah, my Rangers ain't get it done to get to the playoffs. Hired a new manager. At least you got to see a few playoff games out there in Atlanta. But let's get to preview what we're gonna see Friday night. Phillies, Astros in H-Town. Dusty Baker versus Kyle Schwarber. To get there, let's review those games with the Phillies winning 4-1 over the Padres. I'm sorry.
Yeah, bro. Like you said, that was the Phillies really had that team of destiny vibe to them the entire postseason. It started when they beat the Cardinals. Then they came in, they shocked Atlanta, and they've really been on a roll. And Bryce Harper has shown that he's worth every penny. And Kyle Schwarber, as we said, he was great. He was a great free agent signing this offseason. He was really got him on the low. And it was somebody who we all knew could help a contender, but now we're actually seeing it. And they're showing you, with baseball, you get hot at the right time and anything can happen. And like I said, having a guy like Bryce Harper, who is a generational player, a lot of people look at his batting average, which did when they, people started instituting the shift against him consistently. But now you see why they gave him the money. Like, he's a superstar player. He's a primetime guy. And one of the best left-handed hitters in the game, if not the best. And I think, like I said, generational. Talking about a kid who dropped out of high school, got his GED, and became a professional baseball player. And he's accomplished everything that people said he was going to accomplish. Like, he's a multiple-time MVP. He's a batting champion. He's like I said, when we get to our predictions, I'll let you know how I feel about what's going to happen with that. But he did his thing this series, man. He was really impressive. I think he hit 400. He hit 400 over the series.
Yeah, so for the playoffs in general, 419, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, and your favorite 1.351 OPS.
Bro, he was just delivering, like I said, as advertised worth every dollar. So you really gotta tip your cap to the Phillies. And like I said, they really got that team of destiny vibe. Like, I know they were a wild card. They only won 81 games in the regular season, but they've been on a roll.
And then let's just talk about the Padres real quick. Able to get there without Fernando Tatis. They go and they make the big splash with Juan Soto. Finally beat Big Bro and the Dodgers. You think Tatis comes and joins that group next year? You think they need to make a move? Obviously, that bullpen to me was one of the most impressive things I've seen. They kind of ran out of gas towards the end, but what do you think they should do next season?
Well, you have to bring back Tatis, but you really have to see how it goes. We've heard, the excuses about why he tested positive and X, Y, and Z, but we really have to see if it was just something he was simply taking to heal faster, or if it was something that was helping his performance. Like, I think personally, it was something that he was using to heal faster to get back, and he did something that was illegal, but I don't think it was necessarily something that was aiding his performance. But when you add Fernando Tatis back to this lineup, you got one of the best lineups in baseball. Josh Bell probably won't be back. He's gonna go get his money. You still have Juan Soto, and Manny Machado's one of the best, if not the best, third baseman in the game. So, you still have a great core. You got pitching, Musgrove, Snell. You still have a very solid baseball team. So it's unfortunate, but at the same time, when you consider the fact that you underachieved, and you're underachieving, you made the NLCS. So, it was not what you wanted this season, but at the same time, I don't think they can be too mad. So going forward, you really have to, like I said, add Tatis back to this lineup and see what you can do, because they can still do a lot. They can still do a lot of damage.
Yeah, no, see, I like to see Josh Bell back in that Padre uniform. I know he can go get his bread, and that's what he needs to do in free agency, but they'd be a nasty lineup. Let's get to the sweep. Astros brought the brooms out against the New York Yankees 4-0. Their bullpen this season, postseason, 31 innings, 0.82 ERA. The Yankees were up there looking blindfolded, even when they were up. Big home run from Pena to tie it up. And then they had the big hit from Bregman in Game 4 to ring it. From the Yankees' perspective, man, they had the keys were the pitching. The pitchers showed up, just the lineup couldn't get it done.
Yeah, I mean, that's usually how it goes for the Yankees. I mean, over the past few years. So, Aaron Boone, I don't know how, but they've already said they're gonna keep Boone and Cashman and run it back, try it again. But you I said, you really got to tip your cap to the Astros. I know a lot of times we look at what the other team did to lose the game, but sometimes you got to really say, you know what, the Astros went out and won these games. Like you said, the pitching was dominant. You had timely hitting. You had your players who needed to step up, stepped up, and that was great to see. And now, I was fortunate enough to see Dusty play last year in the World Series when they lost to Atlanta, but he gets his opportunity to win one and ride off into the sunset. I think, with their bench coach Espada and all of the rumors around teams trying to hire him, I think if you're the Astros, this is a situation where you can have Dusty finally get that World Series, bring another World Series to a team that's been to 5 straight ALCS and
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 out of 7. So, that's insane. Like building a true dynasty, and you can bring another ring home. You let Dusty ride off. You bring in a spotter who the players know, who's respected around the league, and you literally keep it rolling. So I think the Yankees. I wasn't expecting the Yankees to win anyway. Like I understand Aaron had an amazing season, but with the inconsistency in that lineup all year, and then you even saw it in the playoffs. So it was not shocking to me that they didn't get it done. So I think that's an interesting team to look at going forward because a lot of people can be replaced, and we know how that fan base is, and we know they want to win, but we also realize that young Steinbrenner is an old Steinbrenner, so it's a different way of business being done in New York. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But like you said, making the ASC, I know we emphasize rings, real rings culture, but making the ALCS is a successful season. So you tip your cap to the Yankees too.
Yeah, and they definitely got their pieces, but it could be like you said, it's going to be a lot of change. You got to wonder if Judge going back, new third baseman Donaldson. I don't think so either. But you could put a guy like Carlos Correa. I want to do shout out those Astros though. Even being the guy out here in Arlington, got to go to Game 2 before. Speak with Mr. Reggie Jackson. We'll play that later. Current special assistant. I think having guys like him, Bagwell, like you said, you have a bench coach who most teams want to be your manager. Dusty Baker's been coaching for 70-something, 30,000 years. So it's just all the experience they get. Deep roster where they had never seen Pena even play in the bigs. And they're like, yeah, go ahead and walk off Correa. And he comes over and picks up the ALCS MVP. We'll preview the World Series and our predictions a little later. But I do want to give a quick shout out to some Black Gold Glove winners we have. Jackie Bradley Jr. Award nominees, Jackie Bradley Jr., Michael A. Taylor, Cedric Mullins, Marcus Semien, Mookie Betts, Trent Grisham, and Ke'Bryan Hayes. People talk about I'll spotlight 2 of them guys. Ke'Bryan Hayes, he's going to be one of the baddest in the league. Some of the plays he made this year are sick. I think he's probably this next season. He'll be up there with Arenado, Machado, folks like that, just with some of the glove work he's got. For Semien side, man, just getting to be in Texas every day before they hit BP. He's out there taking grounders and then just being a team that a lot of sinkers, a lot of ground balls came. Rarely saw him make an error. Was out there for, I believe, 161 games, I want to say. So great defense. That's what wins championships on my side.
Like you said, a lot of shout out to all of the nominees. I think Michael Harris definitely got snubbed. Like he played.
Oh, yeah.
Played a really great center field for the Braves all season. Well, he missed. I think he caught up like the 48th or 49th game, but he played a really impressive center field. So I was surprised that he didn't get a nomination. But like you said, really solid group of guys. I think Mookie Betts. This is a return for him because he didn't play because of the injuries last year and him being dinged up. Like his defense really fell off a little bit, but I think you saw a lot of those flash plays that we were used to from Mookie. So that was dope to see. And like you said, when the winners are announced, I'm sure a lot of the people that we mentioned will snag one of those.
Oh yeah, I'm cashing a Simeon 2-time champ. I'm cashing a Mookie Betts 6 in a row for sure. And Michael Taylor, who he made one of the plays in the year earlier this season. Real quick though, question for you: where do you think Aaron Judge ends up next season?
San Francisco. I think he goes back home to the Bay.
Okay, I think he pulls a Kevin Durant. He is Houston, win or lose. We need a left fielder still.
I don't know. I mean, Michael Brantley won't be there, so they definitely slide.
I'm trying to think of who. I know Bregman gets a little bread. I know Altuve is nicely played. You got to pay Kyle Tucker, and I'm pretty sure they still probably got some years on Jordan. But I mean, I would love to see him out here, but I'm just saying, you put him in that lineup, that's a nasty 1, 2, 3. But real quick, before our founder Rob Parker joins us in a few minutes, here on the MLB Bro Pro Season MLB Bro High and Outside Pro Season review, World Series preview, Malik Wright and Dante Miles. I want to give some shout outs to some bros who sort of got it done this year. And I know we already touched on them earlier, but I want to first bring up Josh Bell, 266 this season, 17 home runs, 71 RBIs. He started this year in Washington, best switch hitter in the game, snubbed for the World Series. He goes out in the Juan Soto trade, the biggest trade in Major League history, considering one of the biggest trades in Major League history, considering the player and the haul they got. In those big-time expectations, he comes, and just when they getting rolling, you got the Fernando Tatis steroid accusations. You got to deal with all that on your back. I think he stayed pretty solid through the year. My other guy, it's pretty obvious, and I know, but 62 home runs, Aaron Judge. The most impressive thing to me was the near triple crown and the fact he was out there playing center field like he was Harrison Bader. So those are my two guys. What about you?
I'm gonna go with Tristan McKenzie. We've always talked about him. We've talked about him for a few years. We're saying, he has ace potential. We just need to see, the accuracy, just the control. And you saw that this season. And I know his win-loss record was 11-11, but more than anything, he dominated. Like when you look at the rest of his splits, he dominated. I think they were hitting 120 this season against his curveball. Like you're talking about a guy who, like I said, was an anchor in a lineup with Shane Bieber as the ace, and he was the 2. And they really helped, lead that Cleveland team to the playoffs. So that's one. And like I mentioned earlier, the guy who I said was snubbed for a Gold Glove, Michael Harris II. Coming into Atlanta as a rookie, with the tradition they have here in Atlanta. He overperformed. He overachieved, in my opinion. He did everything that they said he was going to do. When I talked to Ron Washington about him earlier in the season, the first thing he said, he's a ball player. Like, this is what he does. He got it. And so, shout out. Those are my two.
Okay, I like that. Now let's do some teams that impressed us and teams that we're proud of. I'm gonna start off. I was gonna talk about the Guardians, but you did enough of that with that boy McKenzie because that's what they was all about this year. He's the leader of that staff. I'm gonna say the Seattle Mariners. They broke the curse. I think their manager lost in this series. You put in, his name is Robbie Ray. You put in Robbie Ray against Jordan, who just mashes lefties. Games where you're getting homers from J.P. Crawford. You're getting homers from Mitch Haniger. All your guys are doing it. You're up big. And I don't know. I would have rather him threw Castillo, who was the starter the next day, instead of throwing at Jordan. Disappointing team I'm going to have to talk about real quick, though, the Minnesota Twins. Kind of at a crossroads now. You're going to lose Carlos Correa. You talk about how you want to win. I saw there's a chance that they could get Aaron Judge. I don't think that's highly believable at all. But what about you?
My most disappointing team is the Chicago White Sox by far. I mean, you talk about a team that came in talking about World Series and then you don't even make the playoffs. So that was my most disappointing team and impressive. Even though they didn't make the World Series, I got to go with the Dodgers. I mean, you're still talking about a team that won a lot of baseball games, put up a lot of great numbers between Mookie and Freddie. Like I said, Freddie almost winning the batting title. You're talking about a team that's going to do the exact same thing next year. I think don't write them off in the Aaron Judge sweepstakes simply because this is what the Dodgers do. Like, you know, when there's a big free agent, they're kind of like they're the Lakers of LA now. What's going on, Rob?
What's going on?
What up?
What's up, Rob? Welcome in. We're talking a little impressive and teams that disappointed us. What's one team this season that kind of disappointed you?
It's the two big city teams that people have been dying to see, the Dodgers and Yankees, since 1981. I mean, it's been a long time. And the Dodgers, of course, won 111 games, and they didn't have the pitching to get there. And the Yankees won 99 games. You remember how the season started. Aaron Judge put together a historic season, and then they were no-show in the ALCS. I mean, 50 strikeouts in 4 games, 12 hits in 4 games. To me, that's a no-show. So it's definitely the Dodgers because they didn't even get to the NLCS. They got knocked out the first in the first round that they played in. So the Dodgers definitely a bigger disappointment, I think, nationally.
Okay. And now, again, here, Rob Parker, founder of MLBBro.com, on the High and Outside podcast. Let's preview this World Series. Simply, Rob, who you got and why?
Okay. I'm not a wishy-washy guy. You guys know that. I would love to see Dusty Baker win a World Series. I think he's a tremendous manager. He's done everything else. He's taken 5 teams to the postseason. Been to the World Series a couple times, come up short. He was in line to get the Cubs to win a World Series, you know. Everybody knows that. He was going to win a World Series with Barry Bonds in San Francisco before Bochy won those 3 with the job. You know, like there's so many moments where he was right on the cusp. And I want to say that they're going to win, but the Phillies got some magic and are doing stuff that I think the Phillies have something going, and this is unscripted. They only won 87 games, but when you watch them and what they were able to do to go through the teams that they went through, I'm going to pick the Phillies in 6 games.
Okay. Dante, what about you?
That was exactly my pick. I said Phillies in 6. Like when you look at their road to the World Series, like you said, beating the Cardinals who won their division, beating the Atlanta Braves, you know, beating the Philly, and I'm sorry, the San Diego Padres. They really had that team of destiny feel, like I said earlier in the episode. And so Bryce Harper's been worth every penny. I think, you know, adding Kyle Schwarber, as that lineup, Reese Hoskins has been smashing the ball. He had 5 home runs in the NLCS. Like it's a team that got hot at the right time. And as we've seen in baseball a lot of times, that's what you need. That's what you need. If you get hot at the right time and you have the pitching in these series where you can make it a short series where when it's time to close out, I can go throw my ace. Hey, I need you to come give me 3 innings. The Phillies have that. And they have the bats to do it too. And everybody's hot right now. So I also picked the Phillies in 6.
Let me jump in here too. One more thing. And then the Astros have facing them is while Justin Verlander has pitched well, he's been bombed in the World Series for whatever reason. He's 0-6 and his ERA is around the 6 in his 7 World Series starts. So what happens if because the Yankees had him on the ropes, they couldn't get the hit that they needed. You remember the Mariners beat him up in game 1 of that series, and they were bailed out with a big home run. If Verlander doesn't win that game 1, it could turn the whole series. I think that very seldom in baseball, just one start, but I think that's a huge start given Verlander's history and the idea that if the Phillies are able to beat up on Verlander in game 1, I think that changes the series.
Yeah, definitely. And we got Aaron Nola going game 1. That's the key, I think, for the Phillies is they get to throw Aaron Nola game 1, Zach Wheeler game 2, and you got to see them 2 again. So regardless of what Houston does the other game. So Verlander is going to have to going to have to make some big pitches. Who you think you got a World Series MVP? You think Harper takes it home?
I do. I think Bryce Harper has, a lot of people have hated on Bryce Harper. They don't like him or whatever. I've always liked him, even when we were watching him, in college, hitting those home runs on YouTube and all that. I mean, he's lived up to it. He's got 2 MVPs. People ragged on him when the Nationals won the World Series the year after he left, but he won an MVP last year with the Phillies. He's a big part. And then to get that home run that they needed and that 8th inning, you don't want to go back to San Diego. You don't want to face their pitching. You never know what can happen if you give a team life. And he eliminated that. He hit the big home run on the big stage. And I think he's going to be the MVP. That's what just feels like it's destiny. That's what it feels like.
I feel you. I'm going to say Houston in 7, though. It's just a crazy environment, and they're matching crazy environments. They're going to have to get Altuve and Bregman to step up because, like you said, even Jordan, they weren't making a lot of big hits against the Yankees. But, again, Rob, I appreciate you taking a few minutes with us. I remember you and Dante both picked the World Series right last season. Y'all both said Braves over Astros.
Dante, come on, Dante. They don't want to hear us. They don't want to hear what we got to say.
When you know it, you know it. It's like it is what it is, man. What can I say?
I got to get on the board. But, hey, I appreciate you for joining us, Rob, and thank you for this season. We'll be back harder next.
That's right. Next year, year 3, MLB, bro, bigger and better, man. We got a lot of new things in store. So, man, keep following us. And I appreciate the work you guys put in. For an old dog like me, you see the gray hair. To see you young guys, man, love the game, cover it the way you do with the passion. It means the world to me. And I know we're getting through to people, players. I get people all the time that marvel at what we're doing. And it's about guys like you. This site is about Dante and Malik, for real. If you haven't given us a chance, man, take a look. It's about those guys. So thank you and keep up the good work.
All right, man. We'll catch you later. All right. So during my time in Houston for Game 2, I got the honor and the privilege of going live on tape with the legendary Mr. October, Reggie Jackson, who's currently a special assistant for the Houston Astros. Yo, what's up? It's Malik Wright, and I'm live on tape at the ballpark for MLBBro.com.
Reggie here with MLBBro.com, Reggie Jackson. This is your time of the year, Mr. October himself. So, how was your mindset? How did you live during this championship time?
Really, Malik, I enjoyed this time of year because I thought that the best teams were playing. I thought that the most talent was here, and I enjoyed the pitching that I was going to face because great pitchers weren't going to run from you. They were going to challenge you. You were going to get balls to hit, and playing against the opposition. When you get down toward the end, the last 6, 8, 4 teams.
Yo, what's up? It's Malik Wright, and I'm live on tape at the ballpark for MLBBro.com. Excuse me. You can catch the rest of that tape later on our YouTube page, Twitter, Instagram, MLBBro.com to watch the full clip with Mr. Reggie Jackson. But that concludes our story right there, Dante. Appreciate you for being here. Appreciate this season, man. We'll have to link up at the end when we see. I got Astros at 7. You going with the Phillies, so we'll see.
Yes, sir, bro. Like you said, another great season. I'm looking forward to the next one, and keep up the great work, bro.
Yes, sir.
MLBBro.com is covering MLB's postseason.